Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a happy Monday to you all. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. We are continuing with the Kep1er drop from today. The title track, Galileo, was absolutely spectacular. It was brilliant. It was probably my favorite Kep1er title that they've done so far. But that's not it, because of course we have the rest of the EP to check out. I believe there are 4 other songs on this EP, the Magic Hour EP, which I'm very excited to get into. Kep1er have had a very good track record when it comes to having at least one banger B-side for every album. And when I say a good track record, I mean a 100% track record when it comes to banger B-sides. So I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us this time around. I do see there's unit songs this time around. The final 2 songs are unit songs, which I'm very excited to hear, because this will be the first time I believe we're getting Kep1er unit tracks. Admittedly, they might have done some live stage stuff, but we don't get Kep1er live stages here in the UK. So either way, I'm buzzing to get into it. So let's do just that. DJ, roll the intro. I mentioned it in the MV video, but I'm going to mention it again. I really hope contractual renewals go well for Kep1er. Because honestly, as someone who's followed every single produce group, not watch a show, but the groups that have come out of the produce shows, there needs to be at least one group that extends. Good lord, we cannot have 5 groups just crumble in the way that the past 4 have. And as someone who was an IZ*ONE alt, they were taken away at their prime, and I don't want to see a group like Kep1er go through that again. So, best wishes, and only positive vibes for contract renewals coming up. But B-sides to check out, we got 4 of them. If you've never been around for album lessons before with me, Timeline Below is going to be chapter based off whatever song we are listening to, so you can keep up to date, or you can keep track with where we are on the album. If you want to skip ahead to a song of your choice, you're more than free to do so at your convenience. But let us get started with track number 2 on the album, The Door. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, we don't have lyric videos for the B-sides, so we're going with the YouTube music versions. Apologies. We have kind of that funk vibe again. It's a little bit of a different funk from Galileo, but it's got that nice walking pace to it. And a nice combination of the cutesy vocal and the it's more subtler vocal, but whoa! There was a whole lot of vocal stuff going on in that pre-chorus. Oh. Nice. Surprising at the lack of a bass part in that post-chorus. It's very treble heavy. Nice 2-part split. And then that's so cool that they're deciding to pair the kind of talk rap part with a pretty melodically high vocal part within that short confines of the pre-chorus. Oh, get smooth with it. We're getting some vocal harmonies this era. Oh, man, that end, I don't know why that ending felt so abrupt. I was kind of expecting that. I was kind of expecting that motif to repeat itself again, but okay, I'm on board. I'm on board with it. Yeah, this is, again, another one of those songs where it has the capabilities to become a really bright, sugary pop song, but it's very controlled at the extent of the bubbliness that we get. That's very interesting. This is, in terms of the kind of like pop song Kep1er are doing, just based off of the title track Galileo and the first B-side The Door, possibly their most controlled in terms of that sugar, that glucose level, if you want to call it that. I think it's a great follow-up to Galileo in that it does have the kind of funky elements to it, especially with the kind of bounce that the beat has. I am surprised at how mid and treble heavy this song is. I thought there was going to be a little bit more bass, but they're actually quite restrictive is the wrong word, but they're holding back on the bass a little bit, and I think that helps it in becoming a little bit more of a lighter, brighter song, because the pacing of the song isn't terribly quick. It's a nice walking pace, I think, and the top line isn't inherently the brightest thing in the world. There are moments where the vocal line does pop up a little bit, but yeah, very controlled. I think the pairing is the most interesting part about the song, the vocal pairing, is you kind of get thrown in the little rap sections where you don't really expect them. You get little like spoken ad-libs in the choruses, sure, but that pre-chorus, the way it sets it up, starts off with that talk rapping, then it goes really smooth vocal, and then it goes filtered vocal, and then the full chorus drop. And I think that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever come across many songs, let me rephrase that. I don't think I've come across many songs that do that recently, so I like that. Very unique. What do we got next? Love on Lock. I'm expecting this beat to pop off. There's no way it stays at this pace. There it is. Whoa! Talk about a breakdown for the rap verse. Rap line kind of popped. Okay. I don't know why it's giving me like grown-up Mask vibes, but it's kind of giving me that. It's like if Mask blended with IZ*ONE's Mise en Scene from the Panorama album. I'm gonna have to look at producer credits because this is reminding me way too much of Mise en Scene. Oh. Was that Chaehyun in there? Kind of going free meter a little bit in there? Okay. Love Unlock is actually a really interesting song because it kind of there's elements that remind me of older Kep1er songs. Like vibe-wise, it kind of reminds me of like the faster sections in Mask. The love on love on lock kind of reminds me of the chorus motif from Up a little bit. And then yeah, musically it's very IZ*ONE mise en scene coded. Let me explain. That is a very good thing. I think mise en scene, No Sole Me are some of my favorite IZ*ONE B-sides, and this was very good. It's kind of got that, you know, runway vibe to it, which I don't know if it's the fact that, you know, like the Kep1er members are a bit more grown up now. Like, I still can't get over the fact that Yeso is 18 already. Like, I swear she was, you know, the small bean maknae not too long ago, but I guess it is that time, isn't it? It's when the maknaes have the glow up. Oh my goodness. It's always a fun time when a fandom gets to experience the maknae goes through that glow up, isn't it? But yeah, what an interesting song. It's very groovy, it's very vibey. It's one of those side-to-side shaker songs. Now I'm gonna go on Genius and figure out the song credits on this because I need to know if my little connections are just kind of like things that I'm misremembering or just kind of like putting two and two together that shouldn't. Give me 2 secs. Did I or did I not just call it? So this is E1, one of the producers on the song. Also, I just looked through the song credits on this one. JJ, Andy Love, E1, and Cho Young Kyung. This is a stack lineup for the song, but look at that mise en scene from One Reeler by IZ*ONE. I fucking knew it. Oh. Also, the kind of song list that this person has done, like Love Ticon is great. Tons of IZ*ONE stuff. I see some X1 stuff, 101 stuff. So they're very familiar with the produce groups and stuff like that. So that's very cool. Oh, I'm so glad I took the time to look that up because it's like, you know, those coincidences where it's like, there's no way there has to be a connection. I knew it. Oh. I'm a right on that big brain moment because that's my first big brain moment I've had in a hot minute. So I'm gonna take that one and keep it for the rest of the week. Right, with that moment out of the way, let's get into the unit songs. So this is actually a really interesting pairing. I'd be curious to see what kind of a live stage for this would be, just looking at the members involved. But first of 2 unit songs, this is Tropical Light, featuring Miss Yujin, shouting, Younghoon, and Miss Yeso. So, here we go. It's the lightest song we've had so far. Love that bass slide. The rest of the verse. Oh, this is just musical serotonin. It's so happy, it's so gentle, it's so light. Lots of high head voice. Straight into the second verse. I also like how unintrusive the instrumental part is. That you get the guitar, pretty simple drum part, very subtle bass part, and that's all you get. Everything else is vocals. And it's one of those songs where it doesn't need much else. I appreciate whoever did the mixing for this, that they really brought the vocals forward for this bridge, like even more than the rest of the song. And a delayed drop for the final chorus too. I mentioned in the beginning what I would imagine a live stage with this would look like, primarily down to the fact that I saw Yoongun and shouting on the lineup. I know how the two of them can just absolutely tear up a stage. But having listened to the song, I'm not so sure anymore because it's such a gentle and happy and bright song that I'm even more struggling to imagine what a live stage with this would be like. It's very cutesy. Also, another song that's very vocally involved, which is very cool to see. As someone who really likes that nice, rich vocal harmony, I like that we're getting a lot of vocal harmonies on this album. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the most amount of vocal harmonies we've had from a Kep1er drop so far, which is great. Always love to hear vocals like this. But yeah, I'm very pleasantly surprised at this kind of lighthearted nature that this song takes. It's like a palate cleanser in a way. It's not like the palate needed cleansing, but still gonna have it anyways. It's a song that you don't really need to think too hard to listen to. You don't need to be in a certain mood to enjoy more than others. You can just kind of pop on, and it's like a side-to-side head movement type song. Oh, head movement, no, but what I think might make the following song really interesting is what vocal direction they take, because Tropical Light, if you were looking for some like heavy power belts on like the high notes, this isn't the song. This is a very delicate high vocal part, especially once again to the really high head voices. So that kind of sets up the second half of this like unit drop to be really quite extravagant, quite dramatic. So let's find out, shall we? Because this is, I believe, unfortunately, the final song on the album. This is Tape, featuring Mashiro, Chaehyun, Dayon, Hikaru, and Miss Bai. Okay. Now this is the lineup that I can't really predict. Admittedly, the first lineup I thought we were getting something and we got something completely different. This lineup I genuinely have no idea what direction they're going to go for. So, here we go. Already a song. Whoa! That sets itself up for a rap verse inclusion somewhere. There it is. The synthy hip-hop vibe, I'm on board with it. Already we've got such a big contrast. Got a lot more heavier in the bass, a lot more bouncier in the rhythm. Vocals are a little bit lower now. Nice hefty musical pause. Hello 808. Even on a song that can get a little bit hip-hoppy, you get a smooth vocal moment. Admittedly, it is now offset by another rap verse, but I was kind of fully expecting to just think of this song as just a synthy R&B song or like a hip-hop song. But it actually switched up a little bit towards the end. I heard that jazz piano kick in there in the middle. I was just like, what is happening here? There's like a fusion of 3 very different genres coming in. Very nice. Again, it's kind of knowing, what song came before this and like the type of song it was going to be pretty easy to create a, offset or a switch in sound just based off of it. And I think in terms of the sequence of the album too, Tape very much fits stylistically into this album. It does have that kind of bouncy beat to it. It's a song that is, again, very controlled when it comes to how bright the song is. It's a song that isn't too quick, but it's got a nice bounce to it. But yet also still has the kind of bubbly attitude that Kep1er's music has had since their debut. And I do like the fact that we got a song that emphasizes on the rap section a little bit. I feel like they've gotten better at it in the recent eras, but Kep1er's rap sections, I feel like, haven't really gotten like a proper chance to shine on too many of their songs, especially when it comes to titles and B-sides. Like, they get their little rap section, and that's kind of it. Like, they fall into the classic kind of K-pop song formula where you just get a designated section for rappers and that's it. I like that Tape kind of took that and kind of chucked that formula out the window, and they just sprinkled the rap sections pretty heavily throughout the song. It's very nice. The kind of sound switch from the hip-hop into the hip-hop meets jazz meets pop was really interesting, I think. It's a sound progression that felt natural, but also kind of snuck up out of nowhere, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't clock onto the sound switch until it was pretty late on. And yeah, overall, this album is a good one. It's a good one indeed. This is a Kep1er album. I really didn't know what type of sound they were going to go for, but the sound that we got was one that showed off their maturity a little bit better, but also retained that happy attitude that Kep1er's music has had in the past. And it's not, coming of age is the wrong word, but it feels like a generational switch now, where they're still holding on to little elements of like the really bright, youthful sound, but they are maturing it a little bit. And this is now their third year, right? They're on their yeah, it's their third year promoting now because they debuted very beginning of 22. Weren't they were supposed to debut December 21, but got delayed for COVID, right? Isn't that what happened? But besides the point, it's we're seeing progression through Kep1er's releases, and I think this one showcased not just like a sound progression, but also an attitude progression as well. Because they're not just going solely for the really bright sound, but they're learning how to put their charms into places that are a little bit more subtle, and I like that. I do like that a lot. Um, Honestly, for me, I think Galileo's still going to take Song of the Album from me. Galileo is just way too good for me. Um, in terms of B-sides, I think Love Unlock is going to take it. Just that mise en scene connection. Oh, I feel like that's a sound that is not very common, but when it's done well, it's done really well. And I think Love Unlock can take that crown. But my goodness, I love this era. I do like this era. And the thing is, Kep1er have gotten better, and they will continue to get better. And my only prayer for this group is that they can take this improvement and they can take this progression of sound that they have and continue to do it. And hopefully, the executives in charge of the companies that the members are from can think with their heads and not with their wallets and let Kep1er continue. That's all I want. That's all. I don't like Kep1er are not an old group for me, but I don't want to have to go through the pain of seeing a group of this caliber disband because some company executives thought they could use this money for their own wallets. And admittedly, at the end of the day, that's what a business model is, it's for profit, but it still doesn't make it any easier and any more palatable to deal with the disbandment, especially if it's a group that's got this ability. So, best of wishes for Kep1er. Hopefully we get good news on contractual front. And hopefully this album does well. Hopefully Galileo does well. I'm hoping they can get a music show winner too with this. Admittedly, it's kind of a stacked end of the month in terms of releases, and there's a couple of big ones coming up soon, but hopefully they can squeeze in a win or two out of this. And yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One less request from me to say let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.